Happy draft day, folks. We finally made it. The NFL draft is here, and round one starts tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern. We're going to be live here on the channel at 7 o'clock Eastern, getting you ready for tonight's first round. We will have full pick analysis of every pick leading up to the Bears pick. Obviously, a lot of Bears analysis as well. Will they pick at 9? Will they trade down? Could something else happen? We're going to have you guys covered for all of it, myself and producer Rolly. So subscribe, mark your calendars. We'll see you tonight, and enjoy this afternoon video here. Harrison Graham here for a draft day episode of Chicago Bears Now before our live coverage tonight. Draft rumors are circulating, so let's go ahead and dive on in here. This is a trade rumor that's out there. Chase Young, could he get traded by the Commanders? Report out there that Washington is not going to exercise his fifth-year option, which would make him a free agent after this season. Obviously, that has led to a lot of speculation that he could be a draft day trade, whether it's today or tomorrow or on day 3. Chase Young, who we've talked about before here on the channel, very talented player, but injuries have slowed him down these past 2 years. It's really been a shame how the former number 2 pick's career has shaped out so far, but we saw his rookie season how capable he is as a pass rusher. Now, you put him on this defensive line, if he can get healthy, he's arguably your best defensive lineman. He's definitely your most talented. Now, maybe a guy like DeMarcus Walker would be better, but Chase Young is still a player that has an incredible level of talent. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You don't go number 2 overall without talent. Now, has he lived up to that even without the injuries? Maybe not, but I think if healthy, he can still be a first-round caliber player, and he would certainly beef up a position that is desperately needed on this defensive line in Chicago. Here's a trade idea that I cooked up. I don't know if Washington would do this, but I think I would need more than just 16 to pull the trigger on this. So Chase Young, 16 and a third from Washington for number 9. They move up 7 spots to either draft a tackle or if they want to go quarterback, whatever the case may be. Would you do this trade? Let me know who wins this trade. Type B for the Bears or C for the Commanders. If Chase Young is healthy, I think the Bears win it. There's a report out there that Washington wants 2 first-round picks. Yeah, good luck. That's not going to happen. But let me know, who do you guys think would win this trade? All right, let's start getting into some prospects now. Will the Bears draft Jalen Carter? Well, Mike Greenberg of ESPN says Chicago will draft the Georgia defensive tackle at number 9 overall. Here's what he had to say. He said, I could tell you that who the Bears are going to take, by the way. I assume you guys already know this, but I can tell you who they're going to take. They're going to take Jalen Carter. I think he's going to be there. I'm telling you what the buzz is everywhere here, and he's talking about in Kansas City. All of the buzz is that Jalen Carter is going 9 to Chicago. Now, he said that via ESPN 1000 in Chicago. A couple things. One, Carter might not be there. I think the Bears would certainly consider him if he is on the board when they select at number 9, but he might not even make it to that spot because there's teams in front of Chicago that could draft Jalen Carter in this NFL draft. A team like Seattle is sitting there with the number 5 pick. They could take Jalen Carter. I think Detroit at 6, I wouldn't completely rule them out. Now, could he make it to 9 with his off-field concerns? Yeah, that's definitely a possibility for the Chicago Bears, and he's certainly an extreme talent. Like, if he's sitting there at 9, you have to consider it. Now, we know a couple of things. One, there are real concerns. The misdemeanor arrests, even though he's pleaded out, that's a bit of a red flag. He also has, some question marks about his work ethic. I mean, the guy showed up to his pro day overweight and not ready to work out. We know the risks at this point. It's well documented, but the Bears have done a lot of homework on him, and if they make the pick at 9, I got to think that Ryan Poles looked that kid in the eye when they brought him into Hallis Hall and said, you know what? I'm buying into you. I believe you. I think you can be a face of a franchise because otherwise, if you're not convinced of that when you meet with this kid, if you're Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, you're too early in a rebuild still to pull the trigger on that move, in my opinion. Would he be a great fit on this defense if engaged? Absolutely. Is he a hell of a talent? No doubt about it. Are the risks there? Yeah, there are real risks. Would you draft Jalen Carter at number 9 overall? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Get your votes in down in the comment section. Y for yes, or you can type in N for no. Next up, Bijan Robinson. This is kind of a deep internet rumor. Is he in play for the Bears? Anonymous Bears Reddit user says Chicago will draft Bijan Robinson. Here's what he had to say. He or she, I suppose, says, family friend is an area scout. Told my dad today that the Bears are enamored with Bijan. He's the pick. Ban me from this subreddit if I'm wrong. Obviously, you can't put this under a report category. It's definitely a deep rumor. But I could buy a couple of things here. I can buy that the Bears are enamored with Bijan. Who wouldn't be? He's a hell of a talent at running back. And I would not completely rule it out. Daniel Jeremiah said it a week or two ago that he's heard that the Bears have interest there. There is a scenario where they could draft him. A couple of reasons why I think he could be in play at number 9. Number 1, Ryan Poles is a best player available guy. If Bijan Robinson is the top player on his board at number 9, he will heavily consider that. He will heavily consider drafting him. Number 2, he would elevate this offense, the Bears offense. There's no doubt. He would be your best running back instantly. Khalil Herbert back in that number 2 role, which is what he's been the last couple of years. He would make this offense even more fun. And he's pretty much risk-free. Honestly, drafting him. High character kid. His floor is very high. I think his floor is like really good starting running back. His high is like he could be a Hall of Fame caliber player. I mean, he really has the tools to be that good. I mean, you've seen the production at the University of Texas the past 2 years, rushed for almost 3,000 yards. And quite frankly, I think he was underutilized as a receiving back. I think he, if you're taking him in the top 10, I'll put it this way, you're going to use him more in the passing game. There's no doubt about it. And I think he would be a weapon in that regard. Bijan Robinson, you plug him in here. Khalil Herbert, RB2, Foreman, RB3. You probably cut Treston Ebner. He doesn't make the 53. Homer's kind of your scat back special teams, and you go. I mean, a backfield of Fields, Robinson, and Herbert, that's pretty appealing to think about. Is it your top need? No. Would I completely dismiss it, though? No, I wouldn't. And I'm not saying that because of this Reddit user. I'm saying it because he's a damn good football player, and you need blue-chip football players, regardless of the position. So I think it's certainly a possibility. How would you feel if the Bears drafted Bijan? Type H for happy or M for mad? I'd be happy with it. It wouldn't be my top choice, but I know that it's a safe route. You're going to have a good running back for 5 or 6 years at worst. Hopefully, you're having a great running back for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So I'd be happy. Again, wouldn't be my top choice, but I would be open to the idea. All right, Mel Kiper released his final mock draft, and he has the Bears landing Paris Johnson Jr. With the number 9 overall pick, which I'd be very happy with that as well. I mean, Paris Johnson, to me, is the best pure tackle in this class. I think Skoronski ends up being a guard in the NFL. Maybe you try him at tackle first. We'll see. Here's what Kiper had to say. Chicago might be hoping Jalen Carter falls here. Remember when we thought it might take him number 1 overall? Instead, the Bears could pivot to offensive tackle and take the top lineman. We could see a run on tackles in the teens. Yeah, that's certainly a scenario that could play out depending on how many quarterbacks go in the top 8 or 9 picks. Now, there's been other reports the last few days that Paris Johnson could go early. Apparently, Kyler Murray has been clamoring Arizona to draft him to get him a good offensive tackle in front of him. Could Arizona take him at number 3? Could a team like the Raiders take him at number 7, play him at right tackle? I think there are teams that could take him before Chicago at number 9, but you draft him and then you just pick if he plays right or left tackle. Braxton plays the other one. I think you would likely play Paris Johnson at left tackle, flip Braxton Jones over to right. I would be perfectly content with Paris Johnson Jr. as the Bears draft pick at number 9 overall, if that's the route they end up going. Now, here's a little mock draft roundup. Some of the top draft analysts dropping their final mocks in the last 24 hours. Kiper, we just mentioned, Paris Johnson Jr. to the Bears. Todd McShay released his as well. He has Jalen Carter landing in Chicago. Dane Brugler has Paris Johnson. So does Peter Scrager, by the way. Daniel Jeremiah says Tyree Wilson would be the selection for the Bears in his final mock draft. So it's all very interesting to see how this is going to play out. I think we know a couple of things. We're all guessing at this point. I think we're all pretty certain Bryce Young's going number 1 to Carolina. Draft starts at number 2. No one knows. Are the Texans going to take a quarterback? Are they going to take Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson? Are they going to trade down? Is Arizona going to pick? Are they going to trade down? No one knows. I mean, this is the first draft in a while where we're really guessing after the first pick, and I think it makes for a fun night coming up tonight. That's why you guys should join us and predict Who will the Bears draft this evening? It could be in a trade down scenario, obviously, as well. If you had to take one guess who ends up being a Chicago Bears tonight, I will still clamor for the trade down for Darnell Wright route, but we'll see what ends up happening. Drop in your guesses and join us tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central Time. We will have you covered here on the channel, youtube.com/BearsNow. Myself, producer Rolly, you're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you then. Don't worry about splicing that in. Let's just put it out. Very good. It's not like it was a completely irrelevant